How are you all out there today? Oh, I tell you, it's been a busy week for me. How are you all doing out there today? Let me start off by saying welcome. Welcome to the Blue Couch and Company, where you are the Blue Couchers and you are my company on the Blue Couch. I am your host today, Tommi Faye Fulton, coming to you live on Facebook. So I hope everybody is doing well out there today. And I was just so looking forward to being with you again and seeing you again on what is today? Well, today is Thursday. It is the Big Thumbs Up Thursday. Today is the Big Thumbs Up. And so I always give myself 2 thumbs up, and I give you 2 thumbs up as well. And this is another one of my signature aprons. I just love color. This is pink today, and my signature color is blue, as you all well know, because it's the Blue Couch and Company. But I have multicolor Big Thumbs Up apron, and if you would like one, just inbox me and I'll tell you how you can get one. So today we're going to be doing a couple of things today, but before we get into all of that, I want to get some preliminaries out of the way and just let you know, as always, you can see me on my personal website is lovebeyondpain.com. That's lovebeyondpain.com, and there you can learn a little bit about me. I am an author of 4 books, and one of my books is Love Beyond Pain, Walk and Run While Wounded. Believe it or not, we can do it. I am a living witness and a living testimony that no matter how wounded we may feel to our souls, we can still walk and run while feeling wounded, and loving ourselves and loving humanity beyond our pains. All right, the other thing I want to discuss with you, also my children's book. If you want Cooking for Grandma and Grandpa, you can order that also through me. Just inbox me and I can tell you a little bit more about that. And that is the characters of all 11 of my grandchildren. I brought that book out in 2015, so as you know, they're not little children anymore, but they're still the characters in the book. And I am in the book as well. And so it's an interesting storyline that really teaches kids how to be team players and stay on task and work together as a team to get a job done. Let's see what else I want to share with you. I also want to share with you that starting next Wednesday, we have established our foundation, our nonprofit organization called Living Wells of Love. And what Living Wells of Love means is that we are all, I feel, we are all wells of souls that we carry love within our hearts. And so we are living wells of love. And so we try to exemplify love and kindness, share hope, healing, and encouragement, as I always say. But definitely Living Wells of Love is about giving and sharing love to those who are less fortunate and those who are vulnerable in our populations and in other countries. And so right now we are servicing West Africa as well as Myanmar, Asia. And so you can go there, you can read the story about Julie in Myanmar, Asia, and you can read the story about Eno and how she is faring along and what she's doing in West Africa. Awesome stories about 2 young ladies from 2 separate countries, but they both are working to help other people despite their own challenges. And so that's what loving yourself beyond pain is about. That no matter what you go through, no matter what you encounter, no matter what you go through, love yourself beyond the pain that you feel to your soul. No matter what may have happened, it could be the loss of a loved one, It could have been someone that has injured your soul, someone that has been unkind towards you, um, breakup of a marriage, breakup of a relationship, breakup of a friendship. All of these things hurts us to our soul. And sometimes people don't recover from those soul wounds. Could be a loss of a child, a loss of a mom or a dad, with everything that's going on in the world. And sometimes it's difficult to get past those soul wounds that we feel deeply inside. And so in my book, I try to help people and demonstrate through correlation of how we go through physical wounds to our body, and it's the process of healing. And there are 5 different types of physical wounds that we can incur. Some are more severe than others, and some take a little bit more time to heal than other wounds. And so I correlate those with the 5 soul wounds. And so you'll have to get the book and read a little bit more. If you know someone who is going through pain in their souls and they want to read a good book, I do let you know that my book is a good book to read. When I was going through a soul wound, even this past year, on events that happened in my life that was so unexpected, I found myself reading my own book. And so just by reading the first few pages of my own book, I was able to begin the process of healing. And so the book really does help you to heal your soul and to learn how to and to understand how love and forgiveness goes hand in hand. And you can't have one without the other, nor can you move along in life unless you forgive and love others for the things that they do to your souls. I am currently also writing a new book called Soul Crimes, the people that say they love us and commit crimes against our soul. And so that's going to be an interesting book too. I am a 3-degree criminal justice major, and so I will be correlating crimes with real crimes with soul crimes. So I love doing correlations. But nonetheless, we're going to be cooking up some stuff today. Last week, I made my Indian curry beef. It was delicious. It really was. Some other people tried it and they really loved it. And so I thought, well, if it was good with beef, it's probably good with lamb and it's good with chicken. And so today we're going to do it with chicken. We're going to do it all over again, but we're going to do it with chicken today. And I'm just going to add a little bit more different things into it than what I did on last week. What I'm going to have with that today, I'm going to make a sweet potato pie. I was in North Carolina with my eldest daughter and her children, and I made 2 sweet potato pies for them, and they just bounced around all over the place. They just loved it. I made my famous 3-bean chicken soup, and so we came up with a name for it. Rather than to just call it 3-bean soup, we decided to name it after my youngest member of our family, my grandson, Suba. So the soup will no longer be called 3-bean chicken soup. It's going to be called Suba soup. Suba, S-U-B-A, Suba's soup. Okay? And so we're going to get started today. I'm going to whip up this sweet potato pie really quick for you so you can see how to make it. Not everyone knows how to make it, believe it or not. I'm 62 years old, and my first time making it was about a month or so ago. And the reason why I never tried to make it is because I always loved my mother's sweet potato pies, and I just thought it was magic the way that she made it, and I just never thought that I could make it the way she did. But lo and behold, I got the ingredients from my sister, and she gave me some instructions, and it's really pretty easy. For those of you who think you can't bake, you can bake. So this is really easy. I told my granddaughter, I said, because she makes my banana bread very well, just as good as I do. And she's only 20 years old. And so I told her, I said, you can make this sweet potato pie too. It's just as easy as making the banana bread. So we're going to get started today, and I will be walking and chewing gum at the same time. I'm going to try to anyway. But again, I want to just thank everyone for joining me and tuning in to the Big Thumbs Up Thursday. And so on next Wednesday, the 26th, I will be coming out doing the Love Launchers from the foundation, Living Wells of Love. I will be launching our Wednesday show called Love Launchers Giving Wednesday. And that way you can participate, and I'll tell you more about that on next Wednesday, how you can participate. And that will be my first day coming out, talking about and demonstrating and showing to you some of the things that we are doing through our nonprofit in helping others along in life. Love goes a long way, but we have to also demonstrate love as well as we speak love. All right? And so we're going to get started with this. What I have in the bowl is 2 medium sweet potatoes, and you want to mash those up really good in your bowl. You want to make sure that a lot of the strings, sweet potatoes have a tendency to have strings in it, so you want to make sure that your strings are not in there. I have my oven heat on 350. Preheat that to 350, and you can leave it at 350, or you can turn it up to 375. Let it cook for about 45 minutes, okay? So we're going to get started with this right quick because we got to get into this other stuff. So what I'm going to put in here now, I'm going to put in 1 cup of light brown sugar. All right. I'm going to put in 1 cup of white sugar, and this is a half a cup, so I got to pour another. I ran out of things to put my sugar in, so you're going to put 1 cup of light brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar into your bowl, okay? Sweet potatoes have a tendency to absorb a lot of sugar. You may think that it's a lot of sugar when the pie is all done, but believe it or not, it's really not. It may look like it is, but it's not, okay? But for those of you who are diabetic or have to stay away from sugar, I have to also watch my sugar. Not that I'm diabetic, but I need to watch my sugar as well. And I'm going to have this pie not separate from my dinner, but with my dinner, because it's going to taste really good with what I'm making, okay? So the next thing that we're going to put into this, we're going to put in 1 stick of butter. We're not going to use margarine. We're going to put in 1 stick of soft butter, room temperature, okay? We got that in. And next we're going to put in, let's see here. I'm going to mix these up first before I put some of my other stuff in there. And so while I'm mixing this, I'm just going to tell you all about what's going on in the Carolinas. So I was in North Carolina, and the next day, I arrived, and the very next day, we had snow and we had ice, and so we were snowed in for about a day. And but I was ready to relax after driving all that way. And so now what we're hearing tonight here in South Carolina, we are under a winter advisory starting tonight at midnight, and it's going to last all the way through Saturday afternoon. Wow. So I went out this morning and just picked up a few things that I needed. And so, yeah, we're going to be iced in here in South Carolina. So we have 2 sweet potatoes in here. We have 1 cup of light brown sugar, 1 cup of white, and we have 1 stick of butter. So never use margarine when you're making a pie. Always use the real thing. All right, so the next thing I'm going to put in here is 1 cup of carnation milk, concentrated, okay, evaporated. So I'm going to put that in. All right. Going to put in some vanilla. So I would say about maybe 3 tablespoons of vanilla. I pretty much, when I pour it in, I pretty much already know how much vanilla to put in here. Okay. Next, we're going to put in some ground cinnamon. Ha. We're going to be using, I would say, about maybe 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. All right, we got our cinnamon in there. I'm going to set that aside because I'm going to need to use it again. And I'm going to reach up here for just a moment and turn my little fan on because it's getting kind of warm in here now. Okay, so there we go. Just need a little air going. All right. So I got the cinnamon in, got the milk in. Next we're going to do 2 eggs. Make sure that your butter and your eggs are at room temperature. Okay, and these are large eggs. I'm going to put 2 of those in. All right, and I'm just going to dash a little bit of this is cinnamon sugar, so I'm just going to put a little bit of that in there. The other thing I'm going to reach over here and get is some allspice. So I'm going to dash a little allspice in here. All right. There we go. Allspice just has a really nice smell to it. I love the smell of allspice. There are a lot of spices that really have some nice smells to them, and allspice is one of them. So we're going to mix all this in together. We got our sugar, we got our butter in here, we have our 2 eggs, we got our yams, we got our vanilla in here, we got our carnation evaporated milk in here. I'm just going to stir that up real good. And you don't have to blend this if you just stir it. I think blending it with a blender may make it too souffled, and you don't want your sweet potato to be too souffled, okay? You want it to be nice and firm, okay? So yeah, we are going to be getting some really heavy weather out here, but this is the season. We had beautiful weather all the way up. Even today, it was 65 degrees today. But the temperature is dropping and the weather is changing really, really quickly. But we thank God for all kinds of weather. Okay? So I'll stir that up just a little bit more. And I got 2 pie shells over here that I'm going to be pouring these in and move some of this other stuff out of the way. Okay. But yeah, I guess what I would, feel to talk about today is just trying to encourage you guys that, we're in the beginning of a new year. We're still in January here. January has come and gone. We ain't got but maybe a week and a half of this month left. And so a lot of people make, New Year's resolutions and things like that. But your year is whatever you make it to be. And I just want to encourage people that if you have something that new that you want to do in your life, I know it can be a little bit scary at times. Stepping out and doing new things. I go through all of that myself, anxiety about trying something new or doing something new and whatnot. But I tend to try to challenge those feelings that I have, and they're nothing but the fear of doing something different and something new. And so I want to encourage you that if you're thinking about, doing something new and different, go for it. Don't worry about who's looking. Don't worry about the mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes. Don't worry about the mistakes you're going to make or what you have and what you don't have. I don't have everything that I would like to have, especially technological wise, but I just go ahead and use what I have. And sometimes you just have to use what you got. I think that's what God told Moses when he had the staff in his hand. He said, what's that you got in your hand? So use what you have in your hand to do whatever it is that you want to do. If you're a person like me, you like creativity and creating things and so forth, I tend to improvise. And if I don't have something that I need, then I'll try to see what I can substitute that for. This is a deep dish frozen crust. I had been using the rollout crust, but I used this for my daughter's pies when I was there with her, and I really like the taste much better and the firmness much better. So these are deep dish frozen pie crust. So I'm trying to use up all of this before I stick them in the oven. And while they're cooking in the oven, then we're going to move on to our next thing. Don't want to overflood them too much. Okay, just about gone. I hate to waste anything. So, yep, that was 2 medium. So we're going to put these in the oven. I'm going to put this aside for right now. I'm going to carefully tiptoe over here and stick these in the oven. Turn my light on. Oops, no, done with that. Press the wrong button. Put my other one in. Okay. So we're going to let those bake for about 45 minutes. Let's see. What do I need to get rid of over here? All right, I can put a lot of this stuff off to the side there. Okay, so let's get started with our next thing. I'm going to pull this over closer to me so that you guys can get to see what it is. And this is my handy skillet pan. So I'm going to turn that up on a low heat. And I am going to put, about maybe 3 or 4 teaspoons of olive extra oil, extra virgin olive oil. All right, add that in. And I'm going to, now I boiled this chicken first, and I'm using 3 quarters chicken leg and thigh together, 3 of them. So I boiled it first and I let it cook, but now I'm going to fry it a little bit. I want to give it a little crust on it, a little firmness on it. I don't want boiled chicken, so I'm going to fry it up a little bit in the pan, and then I'm going to remove it, and then we'll start on our vegetables and our spices and things. So I'm looking forward to a wonderful 2022. It's not to say that 2022 will not have its challenges, but like any other year, any other day, you know, we don't never know what we might encounter, but you take it, you know, in stride. So that's a little hot, so I'm going to scrape my chicken in, and I'm going to fry this up a little bit. And then I'm going to take it out. while it was boiling, I went ahead and put my seasonings in. But because this is going to have so many other spices in it, you don't have to shake salt on it and, you know, all of that. If you're going to boil it in your pot with, you know, I use Goya and pepper, that's fine. But I don't want a salty taste, I want a spicy taste. And I really did enjoy cooking this with the beef on last week. It was really good, and those who had some said it was good too. So we're going to fry that up a little bit. I'm going to put the lid on for just a few moments, okay? So maybe you can hear me beyond the frying. So yeah, you know, I always want to share with people, you know, I try to use myself and use real live, you know, situations and incidences that go on in my life to encourage you. You know, I had someone to say, you know, that sometimes, I don't know, I was speaking to a gentleman about a week or two ago, and, you know, he was telling me how well I look on the show and so forth, you know. And I told him, I said, you would be surprised of the challenges I go through before I get up there to do my thing on the Big Thumbs Up Thursday. He said, well, looking at you, I wouldn't know it. And, you know, sometimes when you're trying to do things in life, it's not always easy. You know, it really is not easy. It's not easy for me. I go through a lot of changes and ups and downs, and, you know, just trying to get everything prepped and prepared and so forth. You know, I do all of this long before it's time for me to come on the show and whatnot. But I'm not always feeling my best, and I'm not always looking my best, you know. But when I come before you, I would like to look my best, and I would like to smile and, you know, be, you know, I'm not a high energy person. You know, as one of our presidents used to say, he's low energy, you know. So I'm low energy, believe it or not, but I get things done. So I don't want that to burn. So I'm going to just turn it down a little bit. These little skillets can get really hot. But, you know, I often said that, you know, my show is not a cooking show. My show is about hope, healing, and encouragement. And this show for me came about at a time, a very, very low time in my life, and a very unexpected time in my life that, you know, it was very dark. And it was very painful. And, but I decided, you know, I have come a long way in life, and I've overcome a lot of things, and I wasn't going to let that thing that came last year to disrupt me and keep me and hold me down. And sometimes you got to speak to your circumstances, you got to speak to your situations, and you got to find the faith, the strength, and the courage to pick yourself up and start life again. Because I have a saying that life only ends when you decide not to begin again. Okay. All right, it's coming along. And so, no matter who comes and who goes in your life, you are in control, and God has given you the power to create your own happiness and to create your own destiny. And of course, I always say we want to bring the Lord along with us if you're a believer. You know, we want to, you know, for me as a believer, I want to believe that, you know, God gives me instruction. But, you know, I miss the mark. You know, I miss the mark sometime, and I don't always listen, and I pay a high price for not listening to the voice of God. That's just me, you know. But been a person that when I start something, I like to finish it. And so, and that's how I was able to get through 3 degrees and be a mother and be a pastor at the same time back in those days, and you know, take care of family on my own and stuff, you know. You have to have determination that no matter what happens to you in life, you're not going to allow it to get you down, you know. You have to go through a time of healing, go through the time of healing, but don't stay down. And no one can really tell you how long it should take you to get over whatever it is that you're going through. People have a tendency to do that, and they do it because they love you. They do it because they care. They do it because they want to see you just go ahead and move along in life and not be stuck and not be down about what somebody else did to you and stuff, you know. So let that fry up a little bit more. So, you know, it's not always easy. It wasn't easy for me. But I feel that, you know, my life has purpose, and there is a direction in which God wants me to go. And so sometimes I veer off that path, and like I said, I paid the penalty for veering off the path and not listening to the Lord. And so, but the thing about what's so good is that we are like pods of seeds, you know. One, you know, it's like planting a flower. You put out as many seeds in the ground, on fertile ground. You're thinking it's fertile ground, and you put the seeds out, and you go through all the instructions of burying it and keeping it watered and whatnot, you know. But not all of the seeds come up the way that you would like for them to come up. You know, sometimes some seeds just die under the ground, and some seeds, you know, whatever is coming up may not come up the right way and whatnot. You know, but what I say is that no matter what you're going through in life, continue to plant good seeds in your life. Continue to plant things that is going to bless others and bless your life, and continue to grow. No matter what you go through, continue to grow. You don't want to die, because there's so much more to life. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove this chicken out of the pan. And we'll put it back in later. I just wanted to give it a little searing. So we'll put it back in shortly. Now last week, all of those spices that I was using really kicked my butt, more or less. I wasn't expecting it. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more cautious this week when it comes down to cooking all these spices at one time. Okay. So we got most of our chicken out, and like I said, one of the reasons why I use bone chicken, because bone chicken has so much more flavor to it. And so I boiled the chicken, I left it on the bone, and I deboned it afterwards. I just took all the meat off of it, and I got a good amount of chicken here. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to throw in some of my vegetables that need to cook for a while before we, well, let me see. I think what I want to do is add a little bit more oil. Okay. And I think I'm going to go ahead and throw my spices in, and then I'll throw my hard vegetables in and put some water in there with them. So we're going to, first of all, we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of chili powder. Add that in. We're going to add in 2 tablespoons of cumin. I was telling you all last week about Garmin Marcella. Has a beautiful, nice, beautiful, flowery smell to it. I'm going to add that in there. tablespoons of curry. This is 2 tablespoons of paprika. And hopefully you all can see that. Don't want to put it too far away from me. Okay, what else is going in? I'm going to put in some cinnamon in here, believe it or not. 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Okay. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of turmeric. 2 bay leaves. 2 tablespoons of garlic. 2 tablespoons of parsley. Oh, parsley. He gets along with everybody. Put some parsley in there. And in here I have cayenne pepper. I have some complete seasoning. It's complete. You got everything in it. And I have some Goya in here as well. I'll put all that in there. Okay, I think I got all of my spices in, and I could also put in a dab of allspice. All right, I'm going to mix all this around in my pan. Now, last week, those fumes were coming up and hitting me in my nose. So I'm going to stand back here a little bit. Toss these around. Now, I saved the broth that I cooked the chicken in, and so I'm going to put in some, not just straight water, but I'll put in some broth. Rinse my cup out. I'm going to put in some broth that I cooked the chicken in into this pan. So this is 1 cup. I'm turning the heat up because we want that to come to a boil so that our vegetables can cook a little bit. So this is 2 cups of chicken broth from the chicken. And actually I can put 3 cups in there. So we'll go ahead and make it 3. And if I need to put some in a little bit later, I'll do that. But we got some other stuff that's going to be going into that. So we stir this around a little bit, turn the eye up, because we're going to add our vegetables into this. I also want to add some raw honey, so it'll have that spicy, sweet kind of flavor to it. So add some honey into that, and that's about 2 tablespoons, I think. I'll stir that around. Okay. So I got a nice mixture going on here. I am going to add in my purple onions. I think last week I called them green onions. I'm going to add in some purple onions, and this is about 1 cup of purple onions. Okay. Turn this up a little bit more because I want it to boil. And I'm going to add in some carrots. Y'all know me, I like everything to look pretty when I cook, including myself. So I add all those in there. Okay. And I'm going to add in, this is red peppers. So all of these peppers have to cook. I would say for about maybe 5 minutes. I'm going to add in some green peppers. See how beautiful that is? I tell you, when you put these oranges and reds and greens and all this together, just, you know, colors make me happy. All right, this is a ginger root, and I peeled the skin off of it, and I'm just going to put that there in the middle. I am not going to chop the ginger up. I'm just going to let the ginger cook with it to get the flavor out of it, and at some point I'll remove it. Okay, you can chop up the ginger and leave it in there if you like. I was just trying to save some time, not chopping up. You know, it's not easy to chop up ginger or grate it. These are sweet peppers, so I have some red in here and um, orange and yellow peppers. These are sweet peppers. All right. And yeah, it looks like a lot, but it's okay because whatever I don't eat, I freeze. And that's how I am always able to have something to eat without having to cook every day. I just freeze it. All right. So we're going to let this come to a boil and let those vegetables cook a little bit before we add other things into it. We got three other things, 3, 4, and then the meat we're going to put back in. So I'm going to cover this up and let that cook for a little bit. All right. So we made got our sweet potato pie in the oven. I'm going to have that not as my dessert, but I'm going to have it with my meal. I'm going to have it right beside it, and I'm going to be eating it at the same time. And you'll be surprised at how delicious sweet potato pie, along with all of these spices, how wonderful it tastes eating it at the same time. But what I want to continue to say is that be encouraged. If you're thinking about starting a new business or whatever it is new, that, you know, when you get to a certain age and you just feel like you don't feel like starting over and so forth, and I understand how that can be when you have to start over in life. I am the life start over person, but you know, I just do it. You know, sometimes you just have to just do it. And so when things don't work out and you see that you have to start your life over or start your life in another new direction, you know, go for it. You know, go for it. Be happy. There's no, you know, tomorrow is not promised to any of us. You know, anything can happen at any given time. And so, you know, I've raised my children. I've helped raise my grandchildren. I've had a career working at the law enforcement, and I've had my education, you know, that I worked hard to obtain, and you know, been married before, and so you know, now it's just me. So it's my time now. You know, I tend to be a giver, and I don't mind giving, but now I want to just give for me and give out from me the things that I really, really want to do. And, you know, helping others has been my life. I've had an outreach ministry, and I've always done outreach. And outreach has been something that I really, really enjoyed doing. Helping others and seeing them grow and prosper, and watching from where they came from to where they're going and so forth. I used to have a school called Tri-Self Computer Learning Center, and a lot of students came through there. We had graduations and things like that. So I've worn a lot of different hats in my life. And so now this hat that I'm wearing, this is Tommi Faye's hat. And part of that is doing the Big Thumbs Up Thursday show from the Blue Couch and Company. And so what the Blue Couch and Company is about, that word company can mean anything. First of all, it means that you're the Blue Couchers and you are my company on the Blue Couch. That's number one. The other thing is I have other arms and legs that I do from underneath the Blue Couch. And so the Big Thumbs Up Thursday is one of the things that I do. And then coming on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock in the evening, I'll be doing our Love Launchers giving fundraising day for the nonprofit organization. And so what the nonprofit does, it helps support other well-vetted, credible NGOs and nonprofits. So it's a support. And Ministry of Helps is something that I have always done, and something that I will probably continue to do. It's just something I enjoy doing. And so one day I plan to take a trip to Asia, and I'm hoping very soon to take a trip to Africa to meet Eno. You can read about Eno on our webpage, and our website is up and running now. It is living, I started to say my other website. It's livingwellsoflove.org, and you can go there and see our family, our love family there, and see the kids and the people that we help. And so go to, it's all lowercase, and it's Living Wells, and that's Wells with an S on it, so it's livingwellsoflove.org, O-R-G. And there you can read about me, the founder, as well as reading Julie's story and reading Eno's story there as well. Two fascinating young women trying to help others out. And so I just thank God for the work that they're doing. And so one day I hope to get to meet Eno very soon. Oh boy, that's really cooking. And it smells really good too. All right. So what I'm going to add to this now is I'm going to put in some mushrooms. All right. Stir in these mushrooms. So I would love to know what is it that you're doing and some of the things that you enjoy doing with your time and with your life. I would love to get to know you. And you can find the Living Wells Foundation on Facebook. It's the Facebook at Love Launchers. So, and you can be, that's the Facebook address. And you can also find me on my personal page, lovebeyondpain.com. And you can also probably find me on several pages of Facebook. I am the admin for the Virtuous Women's Place. I also have my author's page on there. Sometimes you may see my name as Tommi Venerable. That is my maiden name, but it's still who I am. I was named after my dad. Okay, that's cooking pretty well. I'm going to add in some tomatoes. It's a lot of stuff that goes into this, but it tastes really, really good. Okay. I'm going to add in some coriander, some fresh coriander. And I also put coriander in my rice. So I'll have the coriander rice as well. And that smells so beautiful. That just has a beautiful, beautiful smell. You don't do anything but go to the grocery store and find some coriander and just smell it. It smells wonderful. It has a very beautiful smell to it. And it tastes good. I'm going to stir this up. So with that winter storm coming, all of that ice coming, a meal like this is going to taste really, really good. It has a lot of nutrients in it that's good for the immune system. And I try to take a picture of everything once it's done and, you know, post it so you guys can get to see what I'll be eating tonight and what I cooked. I want to keep an eye on my pies. They're doing really well in the oven. All right. We have, let's see, we're going to put the meat back in, and then last thing we're going to put into this is Thai coconut milk, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and put that in here now. This is coconut milk, okay? Unsweetened coconut milk. And this will give it some thickness to it. Smells really wonderful. And I know it's going to taste good. Okay. Stir that around in there. And so the last thing, like I was saying, that's going to go into this is the chicken. So I'm a believer that, you know, I just believe that you can't give up. No matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're going through. You know, I was talking with someone yesterday, and we were talking about suicide, and the young gentleman was talking to me about, you know, suicide. And I was sharing with him that, you know, I have had my bouts with thoughts of suicide in my life. And, you know, we talked about how selfish it would be to commit suicide and leave so much devastation behind and broken hearts behind. And I was sharing with him back when Robin Williams had committed suicide and how painful that was for me to hear that he had did that, you know, and I was going through a tough time myself and so forth, you know. But whenever you have thoughts like that, I was sharing with him, I'm going to cover this up for a moment before I put the chicken in. Whenever you have thoughts of suicide, think about the people that it's going to impact after you're gone. And I truly do. Oh, one other thing that I didn't put in here, or did I? I didn't put the garlic in. So we can scoop that in now. So you have to think about the people's lives who are going to be left behind to pick up the pieces after you're gone, and the pain that it's going to leave in their lives. And yes, they will have to deal with it, and they have to move on with life. But we are all, believe it or not, we're all linked together in this world. And so when we do things, it not only hurt you, but it affects a lot of other people down the line. And so we have to be mindful that when we make decisions that are wrong and decisions that are not healthy for us, that it not only affects us, it affects everyone that you know. And sometimes it affects people that you don't know. Just upon them hearing that something happened to you can affect them, you know. Believe it or not, when you hear of something tragic, or you see something tragic, and you may not even be related to that person at all, but it impacts you. You know, it affects you. You know, when I hear things about little children and elderly people and animals and abuse and things like that, it affects me. It's not to say that it doesn't affect me when I hear about, you know, young people, or I'm just, you know, kind of throwing out to you. But we are all living in this world together, and we have to make this world a better place for everyone, not just for some, but for everyone. And I know that is the lyrics to a song, but it is true, you know. And God may have made my skin color a little different from your skin color, but He's also made all of these spices different colors, different flavors, different properties, you know, for different uses. But when you put them all together, they all work together, you know. And that's how we should be as a human race. We should all be working together to make this world a better place for everyone, not just for some. Okay? And we're going to put this chicken in now. I can smell the pie cooking too. Smells good. So I'm going to slide this chicken in here. I'm going to let this cook for another 15, 20 minutes. I made a lot of dishes for myself today. But that's okay. I don't mind. It's Thumbs Up Thursday. And that's what happens on Thumbs Up Thursday. I end up having to wash a lot of dishes. Ooh, this looks so good. I can't wait to try it. And you can make this with lamb, with beef, with chicken. Oh, I'm not really sure if you should make it with fish, but you probably could. But this looks so delicious. I'm going to try to pick up some so you can see it up close. Let's see. Can you see that? This is going to taste fabulous over my coriander rice. It's going to taste really good. I feel happy when I cook. Can you tell? So I don't need to put any more broth in here. It just needs to simmer, cook for a little bit. Make sure all the vegetables are nice and tender. So beautiful, I don't want to cover it up. But I will. And I'm going to turn the heat down on it and let it simmer. So the Word of God says, despise not the day of small beginnings. And so wherever you may have to start over and begin life again in your life, don't despise those things. You know, Facebook has the tendency to show you of years gone by to share with you. And I think I had posted and I was doing a luncheon, and I hadn't even published my book yet. And that was 3 years ago that I was doing that luncheon. And so I was talking about my book, and I was saying how it was going to be published in the spring. And sure enough, I did publish Love Beyond Pain, Walk and Run While Wounded in the spring of 2019. And so, so many other things have happened since that time. I've started the Blue Couch and Company and the Big Thumbs Up Thursday. And now I'm getting ready to start, you know, working on the foundation, and that's already been established, 501c3. And so I'm looking for all of that to come back well. And, you know, so, you know, you just have to keep your life interesting and I wouldn't say too busy, but if you're going to be busy about something you enjoy doing. Be busy about something that you love, and something that you can put your heart and soul into. And so I'm going to be putting my heart and soul into Living Wells of Love Foundation, as well as the Big Thumbs Up Thursday. This is my baby. This is where I really get a whole lot of joy in cooking and talking to you. And so the pie is in there. My food is ready for tonight in a few more minutes. And this is the time that I hate to close out with you all, but I need to get off my feet and just sit down and relax for a moment until I get ready for supper tonight. So thank you for joining me on the Blue Couch and Company, where you are the Blue Couchers and you are my company on the Blue Couch. I'm Tommi Faye Fulton, and this has been the Big Thumbs Up Thursday. God bless you. Stay sweet, stay strong, and most of all, stay safe out there in this world. Have a good day. Bye-bye.